In the months following Tiananmen, a leader named Jiang Zemin rose to power. He became China's president in 1993. Under Jiang, China saw an economic boom. The Communist Party tightened its grip on power. It's almost ironical that Jiang Zemin has died at a time when both the CCP and China's economy are facing a crisis. Jiang was 96 years old. The Chinese Communist Party said the former president died of leukemia and multiple organ failure. Our next report brings you his story.
So, who was Jiang Zemin? The compromise candidate. The hardliner who crushed dissent. The visionary who opened up China to the world. In a way, he was all these things. Jiang Zemin was born on August 17, 1926, in the city of Yangzhou in the Jiangsu province. He was born during the Japanese occupation of China. While in college, he joined the Chinese Communist Party. This is when he was studying to become an electrical engineer. He went on to get trained in Moscow at the Stalin Automobile Works. When he returned to China, he worked at Changchun's first automobile works. After working at the factory, he eventually joined the government services. He rose through the ranks and eventually became a member of the Central Committee of the Communist Party. In 1983, he was appointed as the Minister of Electronic Industries. In 1985, he became mayor of Shanghai. Then, the Communist Party Committee Secretary of Shanghai. During his tenure as Shanghai's mayor, he received mixed reviews. He was called a flower pot. It's a Chinese term for someone who seems useful but gets nothing done. In 1986, there was a challenge to his authority. Students were demonstrating against the lack of political reform. Jiang Zemin stunned protesters by reciting the Gettysburg Address in English. This was the speech the U.S. President Abraham Lincoln had delivered to soldiers fighting the American Civil War. Jiang Zemin managed to stem the protests. Over the years, he took other measures to quell dissent in Shanghai. In May 1989, he shut down the newspaper, World Economic Herald. He said it was harmful and fueling the 1989 protests. His actions didn't go unnoticed. After the massacre at Tiananmen Square in 1989, the administration had to do something. Deng Xiaoping was still president at the time. In June, he dismissed the then CCP General Secretary, Zhao Ziyang. Zhao Ziyang was seen as being too sympathetic towards the student protesters. He was replaced by Jiang Zemin. Thus, Jiang Zemin became Deng Xiaoping's successor. It was a compromise, and no one expected him to last long. He was thought of as a transition candidate, but he proved his critics wrong. Jiang Zemin had embraced Deng Xiaoping's economic vision. In 1992, after some prodding by Deng Xiaoping, Jiang Zemin introduced the term socialist market economy. The rest, as they say, is history. China's economic rise began during Jiang Zemin's tenure. China joined the World Trade Organization in 2001. Jiang Zemin even allowed entrepreneurs to join the CCP. A first since the revolution. Jiang Zemin made important political gains too. He oversaw the return of Hong Kong from the UK and Macau from Portugal. He mended ties with the US, famously offering to cooperate on the war against terror after 9/11. But for all his achievements, there was also repression. Jiang Zemin insisted Taiwan was a part of China. Live military drills during his reign soured relations with the island. Jiang Zemin's government put forward their own candidate instead. Economic progress during his tenure helped take the focus away from the lack of political reform in China. It set the path for the situation China faces today. Jiang Zemin handed over the reins to Hu Jintao in the early 2000s. Between 2002 and 2005, he gave up all party posts. He remained a respected elder, but was last seen in public in 2019. Ill health has been the official reason for his absence since then. His funeral will be attended by both Hu Jintao and Xi Jinping. No foreign leaders have been called to see off the leader who opened China to the world.
WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.